Do you recall this amazing race? This is Gout Gout from Australia, who easily won the 100 meters once more. He set a new personal best over the distance for the very popular 18-year-old at the Dismas 100, with a wind legal time of 10 seconds. His second half was utterly devastating, as many supporters soon realized, as he rushed past the field like a freight train. The teenager's lightning-fast performance was once again impressive. However, the most amazing aspect of this race was something that many spectators failed to see at all. It took him 6:58 seconds to complete the first 60 meters, but only 3.42 seconds to complete the last 40. While his first 60 was undoubtedly amazing, his final 40 put him in extremely unusual company that very few sprinters in history have ever attained. At 3:42, this blistering final 40 would have been faster than what anyone else did in this year's Prefontaine Classic in the 100, and that includes Kinsola Ajayi. It was also faster than what anyone did in this year's Paris Diamond League meeting, which included Noah Lyles and Trayvon Bromell. And possibly the craziest stat of them all, this close would have put him right in the middle of the world's fastest in last year's World Championship final, which included a crazy fast 9.77 for the win. And it also included athletes such as Kishane Thompson, Noah Lyles, Ronnie Baker, and Kenny Bednarek. Gout Gout is already outperforming some of the best sprinters in history in closing speed at the age of just 18. It's a race that demands your attention each time he takes the track. He answered all doubts in dramatic way, smashing the national record over 150 meters with an incredible 14.96 seconds, despite the fact that some thought his last race at the Oslo Diamond League suggested that his season was starting to lose steam. A performance that unmistakably equates to a 200-meter time of less than 20 seconds. However, the events at this year's Prefontaine Classic in Eugene, Oregon, have drastically altered Gout Gout's chances of winning the next World Junior Championships. In addition to smashing his own national 200-meter record with an incredible 19.75, high school senior Tate Taylor stunned everyone in this year's Pre-Classic by finishing over 2/10 ahead of the current Olympic champion in an extremely stacked international field. With splits of 10.21 for the first 100 meters and an incredible 9.54 for the final 100, Taylor demonstrated that he can produce absolutely remarkable marks on the scoreboard when everything comes together. The fact that he completed this effort in the face of a headwind of 0.9 meters per second makes it even more astounding. That result has already been translated to a wind-neutral 19.66 and an estimated maximum wind-assisted equivalent of 19.52. Comparing those forecasts with Gout Gout's wind-adjusted 1967 World Junior record is even more intriguing. The same calculations show that Gout Gout's maximum wind-assisted equivalent is 19.65, and his wind-neutral mark is 19.79. For the millionth time, I'm still not entirely certain that these wind conversions are right, since just the home straight wind reading is officially measured even when athletes cover a complete bend previously. The 200 meters naturally allow for a larger margin of error. Despite their flaws, these computations provide a much better point of reference than having no comparison at all. Thus, evaluate these figures in any way you deem appropriate. With times like this, Taylor technically ran the better race, but Gout Gout still holds the world junior record. So, there is definitely some kind of international competitive rivalry forming at some level. With performances like these, junior sprinting has officially entered a new age that is unprecedented. Not with Christian Miller or Issam Asinga, not with Ariane Knighton in 2021, and not even with Usain Bolt in 2004. Even though they are still high school athletes, two up-and-coming superstars are already testing the limits of the world's best. Fortunately, the stage is now ready for their much-anticipated confrontation. Tate Taylor and Gout Gout will compete for the 200-meter title at this year's World Junior Championships in Eugene, Oregon. Naturally, Taylor comes with a great deal of confidence following his incredible 200-meter race on this same track. But there's also the fact that Gout Gout has centered his entire campaign around this victory. Who then really merits the title of favorite? Is it possible to accurately anticipate who will have the advantage going into this huge final based on all we've seen thus far? Here are Gout Gout and Tate Taylor's current personal records on their World Athletics page. Now, in the 200, Gout Gout still reigns supreme with his 1967. However, over in the 100, Tate Taylor technically has a 9.92 to his name that he ran in the 2025 Texas State Championships, and that time doesn't show up on World Athletics, but that is largely considered his personal record, as that's also the national high school record in the United States. Now, beyond just the 100 and the 200, Taylor definitely has an official faster 60 more PR, but this 698 from Gout Gout goes all the way back to July of 2024. Furthermore, this figure still doesn't give the whole picture because he previously broke 6.6 seconds in 2026. However, Tate Taylor's indoor 300-meter race and Gout Gout's 150-meter race are two more performances that really jump out. Gout Gout became one of the extremely few athletes in history to break the 15-second barrier in that 150. Despite being a senior in high school, Tate Taylor's score of 32.45 is impressively high on the all-time list. Tate Taylor's amazing 8.78-second anchor leg in this year's Miramar Invitational was another feat that truly caught my eye this season. He was quickly catching up to every runner in a professional field throughout that relay, which is really incredible for a high school competitor. He is one of the very few sprinters who have ever dropped below 8.8 seconds on an anchor split, with a time of 8.78. It's also important to note that he was given the baton rather early in the exchange zone, which enabled him to attain peak speed much earlier as he entered the final 100-meter segment. Tate Taylor was still flying, and there's no denying that his current level of fitness is exceptional. High school athletes frequently put up outstanding performances, but we hardly ever see them win on the greatest stages of the sport. Watching Gout Gout dominate in Australia with his 1967 was impressive enough, but witnessing a young school athlete win a significant Diamond League race like the Prefontaine Classic is a completely different accomplishment. When its circumstances is taken into account, Tate Taylor's 1975 might perhaps be considered one of the best 200-meter times ever. Given that he defeated elite international competition in a Diamond League event, it is unquestionably one of the best, if not the best, high school accomplishments. Erriyon Knighton's 1949 from 2022, when he was a high school athlete, will still be cited by many admirers. But because the necessary post-race testing was not finished, that performance was never formally approved, which is still a relatively uncommon circumstance in retrospect. Tate Taylor and Gout Gout are expected to compete in an amazing men's 200-meter race. Tell me in the comments who you think will win based on what you've seen. Everyone, thank you for watching. Until the next occasion.